Hey, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 5, Episode 6, The Text Heard Around the Lake House. So we pick back up where we left off with Monique's lake house. It's still night 1 and all we hear is yelling. It's Ashley versus Wendy. Ashley is saying, "That's stupid," while they're arguing. And Wendy is saying over and over, "I have 4 degrees. I have 4 degrees. I'm not stupid." It's a miscommunication. I blame Wendy in this point. She's coming on so strong for being so new to the group. I got so many great comments from you guys pretty much saying the same thing last week, that you were not on Wendy's side with this one. She was coming on way too strong. She obviously had stuff going on. I will give her a pass for having a new baby. But so far, I'm not overly impressed with Wendy. I hate this. I have 4 degrees. I have 4 degrees. I mean, that's fantastic, but I don't think you can use it like that in an argument. I think that's really dumb. Monique had a funny line here. She says to the camera, "We already have a Candiace, someone who can't control their mouth." Again, Wendy's still bringing up the stupid thing. Robyn says, "Ashley didn't say you're stupid. She was saying that what Wendy was saying was stupid." Wendy says Ashley is broke. She said Michael isn't, but that Ashley's broke. She's broke and her booty hole is broke. I love this show. They argue about booty holes. Oh, God. So they go back and forth. Ashley says, "Don't start yelling at me for what I do for my son." The chef comes out and speaks. It kind of breaks up. We see they're about to go to bed. It's Wendy and Candiace. Those two, they belong together. Wendy says, "I held my ground. They tried to make me apologize." They talk about Cameron's arrival, her little baby. I guess she came 2 months early. So I get why Wendy would be upset. I don't get the rage at Ashley. I mean, if anything, if she had a problem, she probably should have talked to Monique about it, and why Monique didn't offer the same thing to her. But even last week, Monique says that she would have offered the same thing to her that Wendy didn't ask. So I think Wendy's pissed at herself for not thinking to ask. Anyway, so it comes up. It's the next day. It's day 2. Monique's on the phone with Chris. He says, "I don't care about the bird. I'd rather hear about Ashley and Wendy." T'Challa's squawking. I'm not a bird person, but I love him on the show. I think it's hilarious that they dub in words for him. It really cracks me up. They're all getting ready. Wendy's saying she couldn't sleep. She and Candiace are talking about feeling hot and like there were bugs crawling on them. So Monique's talking crap about how good her special pancakes are. Gizelle is doing the same thing. So they decide to have a pancake off. It was just a fun moment between them where everybody was, rooting them on, and they're going back and forth. Candiace says she and Monique haven't talked. If the Lord puts them together, they will talk. Otherwise, she will wait. Candiace is so weird. So Ashley's feeding the baby. She tries to call Michael. It goes straight to voicemail. She talks out loud about him celebrating a big deal. Then we see a flash of 12 hours later where Candiace gets the text. And it's kind of wild because they show it and then they flash back to real time. Again, they're still having a pancake off. Wendy takes over hosting duty of this pancake competition. It's Gizelle versus Monique. They go over each item of scoring. Now, Candiace has a funny line here. She says, "Their pancakes are like their personalities. Gizelle's are messy on the outside, but they're good on the inside. Monique's are aesthetically pleasing, but they give nothing on the inside." So Monique ends up being the winner. It's Monique's birthday weekend. We find out that the husbands are going to arrive tomorrow. Chris is arranging catering because he doesn't feel like cooking. She seems to be pissed about this. I would be so happy if my husband did something like this. Just arrange catering. It's cool. So Wendy and Gizelle take a walk. And I got to say, I have always loved Gizelle. I don't know why. I know I catch a lot of flack for that, but I do. I think she's great. She's very entertaining. She is so messy. We see it here. So they're taking a walk. And they talk about why Wendy was so upset and how seeing the baby was triggering for her. Gizelle says your anger should be directed at Karen, and that Karen's questioning your freelance role and calls her a floozy freelancer. Gizelle says you might want to explain the freelance to her because she's confused about it. And I'm just like, oh God, I love Gizelle. Man, she loves to stir it up and throw Karen under the bus. So then we see the ladies going fishing. We're going to skip past this. It's just, they're having antics and yeah. So the one interesting thing to come of fishing is Wendy says to Ashley that her delivery and her use of the word bitch had no place. Ashley is still looking for an apology. Wendy refuses to give it first. So Ashley apologizes first and said, I'm sorry I kept going with the behavior. Finally, Wendy apologizes too. So I think Wendy's going to be real stubborn. Wendy gets teary-eyed because she get a text from her husband, a video of her daughter. Anyway, so everybody's having cell phone signal issues. This seems to be a theme. Gizelle's saying she can't call Jamal or the girls. Ashley finally is able to FaceTime. She gets Michael and the baby. Michael's such a shit. He's just being so grumpy and rude. And the producer asks Ashley, do you think Michael likes being placed second in your life? And Ashley says he hates it. What a jealous prick. So Ashley asks him how dinner went. He says, it's good dinner. Yeah, all the retail guys had a few drinks. And Ashley says, oh, we've been out of commission for a year, saying that they hadn't had any drinks, together. I don't believe anything Michael says. I think it's all an act. Karen calls Ray. He's so not excited to take her call. I feel so bad for her this season. He won't say I love you. He won't take her call. I'm thinking girl, there's only so much you can do. It might be time to move on. He's just not in it with her anymore. It sucks. It sucks to see. It's hard. They start talking about the trip being old and tired. Candiace says, who invites their friends into the woods where we can just look at each other? We see a flash on the screen that says time in captivity, 23 hours. And I was surprised they really extended this out because we see Gizelle saying, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. Wendy's saying, I'm not stir crazy yet, but I'm close. Gizelle says, I don't understand this trip. Let's make up a game. So they decide to have this whole pageant thing. I'm going to skip this part because not much happens. Candiace ends up winning the pageant. I couldn't care about this part. So they're getting dressed for dinner, and here's where the shit hits the fan because Candiace gets a text. And we see the text here, and basically it's revealed that Candiace's... Okay, let's keep up with this because, Candiace's friend has a good friend who works at a strip club. And, that wasn't even clear. I assume she works at a strip club. Was she just hanging out at the strip club? I don't know. Doesn't matter. So, turns out Michael was there. And Michael's telling people that he's got a wife and a boyfriend. And she was able to get pictures of Michael. What's interesting is Candiace says they actually break the fourth wall, and we see Candiace asking production guys, they're going to blur out the person's name, right, that sent these texts, and they assure her they will. Candiace says, her good friend witnessed Michael asking women back to his hotel room. She runs over to Gizelle. Gizelle, of course, is so excited to get some gossip, which, I would be too. But such a crappy situation because I don't believe Candiace on anything. She's pretending like she feels bad. I think she eats this shit up, but we'll go with it. She's saying she feels bad because they just made up and now she has this information. She doesn't like having it. Gizelle is saying we have to tell her tonight because, again, Gizelle loves to be messy. Why don't they just pull her aside? I don't understand. When they want to just talk to her and... So that way, if she needs to go ahead and call Michael, she can. But I guess that's not as interesting TV. So they all get dressed for the crab shack. They're all dressed up. Everybody's looking at them when they get there. They're laughing, saying they look like they're ready to go to the club. So they sit down. Wendy announced that she's apologized to Ashley. Talk about their husbands and that they have to do everything for their husbands. They have to arrange everything. There's a funny, disgusting scene here where they're eating the seafood and Ashley says she thought that the yellow line running down the seafood, was a natural mustard. Her mom said it was mustard. So she's been eating, I can't even go into it. That's disgusting. Karen talks about Ray, says he's having a great golf day, but again, not super excited to talk to her. Wendy to camera says Karen's phony. She's not real honest about how she feels about me or her marriage. Whew, I can't wait to see those two come to blows. That's going to be wild. They talk about Michael. And Ashley says that he had a boys' night out with some guys from New York. And then we see Candiace says, Ashley, and Gizelle whips her head around. And then we see to be continued. So next week should be crazy. I'm excited to see it. We see a flash of next week. It looks like the men are going to arrive. It's Monique versus Candiace. Ashley talks to Michael, and he lays it on thick, saying something happened at the casino. I can't wait to see what this excuse is. And the thing is, as much as I can't stand him, and believe me, I cannot stand him, Ashley bugs me because she just accepts it. She just believes him. She doesn't want to know the truth, so she just puts that part out of her mind. Ugh, he's disgusting. Anyway, so I thought it was a good episode. I love Monique, so I like being out at her house. I know the women seem bored, but I thought it was interesting. I love the scenes with T'Challa. Oh, I never even brought that back up. So when they were doing the beauty pageant, T'Challa, so Gizelle was asking the shady questions of Candiace, how do you feel about being so short? And T'Challa said, trick. That's what they superimposed over T'Challa saying, and that part really struck me funny. So anyway, so I thought it was a great episode. I'm excited to see what the heck happens next week. I keep hoping they will take Michael Darby down, but it just doesn't seem to happen, so I don't hold out hope. Excited to see what happens when the guys get there and how they interact and what goes on there. I'm curious to see if Ray's actually going to show and how he'll behave and the whole thing. So that is it for the episode. You guys, happy Labor Day. Enjoy your day. I've been a shitty 2020. Everything sucks. So I hope you can at least have a nice day, or I don't even know what to say. I just hope it sucks less today. How about that? But thank you for everything. I love all of your comments. I love covering Potomac. I'm covering Beverly Hills, New York, Below Deck. As soon as Bravo goes in between shows, I'm going to pick up Ladies of London. So if you're not watching it, start watching it because we're going to be talking about it. It's an awesome show. They actually have a sale on it right now on Amazon Prime. I think the first season was like $7 or something like that. I don't know, somewhere in there. I think it's less than 10. So pick it up, watch it. It's amazing. So thank you so much for everything. I so appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I will be back with you very soon. Check me out at Real Recaps on Twitter or comment down below. Love reading your comments. I'm sorry I've fallen a little behind on responding, but I'll get there. I read them all. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.